Well, hello, my lovelies. It's Murky Meg here. It's Wednesday, the 14th of February, and for those who celebrate it, happy Valentine's Day. I hope you are thoroughly spoilt and get everything that you want. Me personally, I'm not a big Valentine's Day person, to be quite honest. I never have been. But hey, I tell my husband I love him every single day. And if he's listening to this because he's editing, I do. I really, really do. So as promised, I'm going to delve into the hilarious biographies or bios that Harry and Meghan have put on their new website. Now, if you haven't already seen it, I posted a video yesterday explaining what exactly has happened and what that means for their other websites, and I've popped a link up in the right hand corner. This is the video from yesterday, and I don't know whether you noticed that throughout my videos there's a little thing that sometimes comes up in the top right. Now that's videos that I think that you might like to rewatch if you've already watched them, or if you haven't watched them already. It's things that possibly in the video that it relates back to. I've been doing this for almost 4 years now, and I've catalogued a humongous amount of information on my channel. So every video I kind of go through and think, what is this related to? So yesterday, for example, I put a lot of those links up to when their original Sussex Royal website came out, and also the Sandringham Summit, and when they were banned from using Royal. So I do often link up in the right hand corner to things that I think that you guys might be interested in if you haven't already seen them. So on with today's video. As I explained yesterday, Harry and Meghan have dropped a brand new website, which might well break the agreement that they sat down, or Harry sat down at the table at the Sandringham Summit, and could well get it yanked by the royal family. Will it happen? I'm not quite so sure, but I hope it does, because it will teach them a lesson. But somehow I think that King Charles and Prince William are otherwise occupied, their minds are elsewhere, and Harry and Meghan are the last thing on their minds right now. One would hope, anyway. The one thing that I failed to kind of mention yesterday, and it's been kind of going over in my mind, is with regards to the use of these titles on the website. Now, it's Harry's title that Meghan Markle gets to use as a courtesy, basically. It was gifted to them on their wedding day, and she neither earned it nor worked for it. Incidentally, 72 days as a senior member of the royal family, she worked for them. 72 days, and she gets to merch off those titles. Anyway, I digress. Today's video. Right, okay, let's get focused, Meg. Let's get focused. Shall we have a look at the Duke of Sausages, Harry's bio on their website, shall we? Because it's a laugh a minute. Incidentally, his biography is 338 words, while Meghan's is 588. That is a 73.9% increase, if anybody is interested in mathematics. I'm going to read it out and then comment as I go, because I find it far more interesting and rather less boring than just blurb it all out. So here we go. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, is a humanitarian, military veteran, mental health advocate, and environmental campaigner. Okay, Harry, how about all those private jets that you and your wife keep hopping on? Incidentally, you've just hopped on another to get to Canada. I will do a follow-up video on that. Mental health advocate. Okay, if you're such a mental health advocate, how come you never were able to get help for your wife, even though you yourself saw a therapist at the particular time? Makes no sense. He has dedicated his adult life to advancing causes that he is passionate about, and that advance permanent change for people and places. On that note, Harry, I would like you to kind of speak up on the African Park scandal. If you haven't already heard, there's a reason why I didn't actually put this on this channel, because I actually physically can't read it. It's that horrific. But I've popped a link in the description if you want to go and read about it. I've popped articles in there. Just head on down there, click on it, and you can read all about it. But hey, Harry, let's speak up about the African Park scandal, shall we? He served 10 years in the British Armed Forces, including 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan as a forward air controller and an Apache helicopter pilot. Yeah, you were a co-pilot, Harry. You were a co-pilot. You also released Kill Count in Spare, which didn't really go down very well. The Duke founded the Invictus Games Foundation. Yeah, you also founded it with the help of the Royal Foundation, but we're just going to breeze past that one. A platform for wounded, injured and sick service personnel to engage in sport to aid their rehabilitation. The international event is a globally celebrated display of resilience, community and athleticism that has won acclaim for its impact in celebrating those that serve. It's also been revered for impacting Meghan's wardrobe allowance too. I'm really sorry, I'm quite catty this morning. Prince Harry is also the founder and or patron of a number of global charities and organisations, including Travelist. Where's Travelist now, Harry? Where's Travelist? I did multiple videos on Travelist. I popped a link in the right hand corner. Go and have a look. It's an absolute SHIT show. Centrebell well child and sits on the board of African Parks. Oh, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. He's mentioned African Parks in his bio. He couldn't be less ashamed. He really couldn't. Mate, there are people calling for you to step down from the board of African Parks for exactly what's gone on. Shameless. In 2021, he was named Chief Impact Officer, or better known as Chimpo, at Better Up. I don't know why all of these places are in bold and capitals. It's weird the way I'm reading this. A world-class coaching platform that helps people everywhere achieve their own peak mental fitness. It's also been accused of bullying as well, allegedly. That same year, he served on the Aspen Institute Commission on Information Disorder, which brought together critical voices across the public, private and civil society landscape to respond to the challenges created by ongoing disinformation. Oh, mate, you are the king of disinformation. In fact, the judge called you out on it. I'm sorry. Oh, Harry, you're absolute plonker. He co-founded the Archwell Foundation, which then, if you go to that website, it actually links you to this website. So is that kind of non-plus now, Harry? Alongside his wife, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, to serve communities in need. At the Archwell Foundation, the Duke and Duchess are committed to their mission. Show up, do good. They hold the value that charitable work should not simply be a handout, but rather a handheld. Sorry, I may have just vomited there. The couple also created Archwell Production to produce content programming that informs, elevates and inspires. Well, you've not really released anything, to be fair. You've had your Archetypes podcast that absolutely tanked and got shafted off Spotify. Then there was that weird documentary, Live to Lead, where they basically cobbled together an already planned interview-style-esque documentary that nobody who actually talked on it knew that Harry and Meghan were going to be involved, that absolutely tanked. We also had the Harry and Meghan documentary, and most people just watched that to be, rubbernecking, really. Pray tell, what else have you done, Harry and Meghan? The Duke is a New York Times best-selling author of Spare, a memoir of his life told with compassion, vulnerability and unflinching honesty. Yeah, we all remember the Todger moment, Harry. Spare was the publishing industry's fastest selling non-fiction book, selling more than 1.4 million copies on the first day of publication. Again, looky-loos. Prince Harry lives in California with his wife Meghan and their two children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. And there we have a problem. And that is where I think the royal family may well have their gotcha moment. They're referring Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. And if this in any way shows any snippet of commercialisation, which, let's face it, it really is all about them and promoting them, i.e. getting them more work, then the royal family could and should shut it down. So that's Harry's very listed biography. I'm sorry, I had to comment all the way through because otherwise I'd just forget. So what do you think of his biography? It's just buzzwords, isn't it? It's self-promotional buzzwords. Speaking of buzzwords, should we move on to Meghan's? Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Sorry, Sussex. It's a bit of a Freudian slip, isn't it? Anyway, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is a feminist and a champion of human rights and gender equality. Her lifelong advocacy for women and girls remains a constant thread in her humanitarian and business ventures. Business! Haha! It's mentioned business. They could be done for that. She has been named one of the most influential women in the world in rankings including Time magazine's most influential people, the Financial Times 25 most influential women, Variety Power of Women and British Vogue 25. Okay, I'd like to point out British Vogue's 25. Were you invited to that iconic 40 women's shoot? No, you weren't. You weren't at all. If none of you know about this, Edward Enninful is leaving Vogue. And for his last edition, he basically did the Legends Only 40 Iconic Women cover of March 2024 issue of British Vogue. Well, he basically got 40 of the most iconic women who have graced the cover of Vogue in one room. And apparently it was a momentous achievement to even get that many people all in one place. Who wasn't there? Meghan. Well, that's because she's never been on the cover of Vogue. But she did win Ranker's Most Disliked Celebrities of 2023. Yes, she was number 1, Harry was number 2, Oprah Winfrey was number 3. That didn't get any biography, did it, Meghan? Her advocacy work on resilience, equity and compassion through action, compassion through action, has been recognised alongside that of her husband, Prince Harry, with the NAACP President's Award, as well as the Robert F. Kennedy Ripple of Hope Award. Ram those awards in, Meghan, ram them in, come on! Born and raised in Southern California, Meghan attended Los Angeles-based all-girls Catholic school Immaculate Heart, which she continues to support as an alumni, before moving to Chicago to attend Northwest University. While there, she double majored in theatre and international relations and went on to intern at the US Embassy in Buenos Aires. Yeah, thanks to your uncle, Argentina, as well as to study abroad in Madrid, Spain. If you haven't already seen it, I did a fascinating video about the alleged incident at Northwest University and her hazing. I've popped a link in the right-hand corner if you so wish to view it. I'd also like to point out that her father paid for most of her education, although she denies that now. She's absolutely stripped him of his life. It's all about the Meghan. After graduation, Meghan turned her focus to the entertainment industry, later securing a lead role in the hit series Suits. Mate, it wasn't lead. It wasn't. You weren't one of the lead characters at all. She was in it, yeah. She was one of the characters, but she wasn't the lead, which she starred in for 7 seasons. Between filming, Meghan travelled to Rwanda, India and other countries to support humanitarian missions. She served in key roles such as UN Women's Advocate for Women's Political Participation and Leadership, a World Vision Global Ambassador and a leading counsellor to One Young World. Meghan also travelled to support the military community on a USO tour, visiting 6 military bases in 7 days, including Branthem, Afghanistan. Wasn't that with Suits though, wasn't it? I don't know. In 2018, Meghan married Prince Harry, becoming the Duchess of Sussex, everybody! Woo! She has written a number of publications and created the lifestyle website The Tig. The Duchess of Sussex guest-edited British Vogue in July 2019, which was the fastest selling copy in magazine history. Was it? I never read that. Well, I do remember it was plagiarised to hell. And again, I did a video on it way back when. If you haven't already listened, I've popped a link in the right-hand corner just for your pleasure. It's an old one, so it's not so polished, but it's still an amazing listen. She and Prince Harry founded the Archwell Foundation in 2020 to support communities in need in both moments of crisis as well as for long-term aid. At the Archwell Foundation, they are committed to their mission: show up, do good. They hold the values that charitable work should not simply be a handout, but rather an handheld. Oh God, this again. A phrase Meghan first adopted in supporting UK charity SmartWorks. Where are you with SmartWorks, Meghan? Because I haven't heard hide and hair of you for a long, long time. Of which she is patron. Oh, she's still patron then. Nice showing up. That supports women to enter the workforce. But isn't it interesting that she uses SmartWorks in her biography? But what has she actually done with SmartWorks recently? Meghan and her husband also founded and oversee the production company Archwell Productions. Well, revert back to Harry's blurb because, In 2022, Meghan launched Archetypes. Yeah, that bombed completely. Why mention that? Was it record-breaking? Again, I didn't hear that at all. Exploring the labels that hold women back. Listen, I had to listen to those podcasts, and it was just Meghan Markle whining, really. Archetypes debuted at #1 in the US, UK, Australia, Ireland and New Zealand, and topped the charts as #1 podcast in 47 countries. Yeah, it was probably the first one because everybody listened, and one of them you used Archie in it. So people did listen because, you know, invisible children and all that. So of course people are going to listen, and then everybody tailed off because it absolutely panned. In fact, it panned so much you got dropped by Spotify. After its first season, Archetypes was awarded the People's Choice Award, cough cough bought award, in the podcast category, as well as the Gracie Award for Best Podcast. How? It was an absolutely shocking podcast. She is a New York Times best-selling author, publishing the acclaimed children's book The Bench. Come on, Meghan, you brought all those copies, didn't you? And Together Our Community Kitchen. Yes, she's claiming that she authored the Together Our Community Kitchen, when in fact she only wrote the foreword. It was produced by the cooks from the Hub Community Kitchen. Yes, she was involved, but she didn't author it. Were they her recipes? No. A collaborative publication with the women of the Hub Community Kitchen in the UK who were displaced after the tragic Grenfell fire. The book debuted as #1 on the UK Sunday Times book list, which proceeds going to the Hub Kitchen. Meghan is a major advocate for mental health, family care, the irony, and gender equality. The Duchess hopes to be a cultural catalyst for positive change, reflecting her core belief that representation matters and the communities can be enhanced through learning, healing, and inspirational support. Meghan lives in California with her husband and their children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. That was a long read, wasn't it? So, in summary, their egos are huge, but one ego is bigger, and can you guess which ego that is? I'd also like to note that Harry's bio is exactly the same as the bio used with the Legends of Aviation, that really cool award that he got. It's just literally lifted from there. It's also, both their bios are absolutely littered with exaggerations, quite frankly, and the fact that Harry mentioned African parks, dull moment. So, I've prattled on long enough. I'd love to know what are your thoughts of their biographies, because that's really all the website has to offer. The website is solely just about them. Oh, and apparently that's where they're going to release personal information. They're going to let us all know what's happening, just like they did on Archworld. So what's the point of this bloody website? As always, I'd love to know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.